I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Blind Spots. And today I have a guest who has such an interesting story. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But the funny thing about my guest today, Charles Young, is he is someone that I met quite some time ago. And we were both working with organizations that were working with each other. And it's just so interesting in life always. And you know how I promote networking, how sometimes we meet people, we don't know when our paths will cross, and then they end up crossing decades later. So, Charles, I'm so excited to have you here with me today. I welcome you, and I am not going to give any hints or clues as to your story, but you've captivated me with your story, your journey, your courage. And I'm just going to hand the mic over to you. And please feel free to start wherever you would like, because whatever you have to say is going to be of great interest to our audience. And I know that. And I'd like to say you were in Starbucks, and I love it because we're very natural and candid here. I'm just happy you decided to jump in at this time and be in Starbucks. It's kind of cool to have that, let's just that improv, or let's just do this wherever you are. So welcome, Charles, to Blind Spots.
Thank you very much, Gayle. So again, my name is Charles Young. I grew up in a small town in rural Alberta in the Tofield-Riley area. We had a family farm, so I grew up in a really wholesome environment. My mom was a nurse, my dad was a farmer, and grew up, graduated grade 12 in the country. Then I went to Augustana University, got a Bachelor of Science there. I worked. Eventually, I ended up working with the government of Alberta. Previous to that, I was a instructor at Norquest College and Grant MacEwan College. And then I eventually ended up in management roles in the government of Alberta around learning and development for most targeted at staff. And I'd actually met Gayle through that role. We would hire her to facilitate sessions for staff at Alberta Agriculture at the time. Fast forward a few years, I was working, I'm manager at Alberta Community and Social Services, and everything's going along okay. And then something funny happened. I wasn't feeling well. I was just feeling off, not top of my game. Just thought something was odd. I thought it was high blood pressure or stress or even a mental health disorder. And but I just kind of went to my doctor, said something's wrong. I can't place it, and she would mostly gave me antidepressant meds and a lot of meds, different meds I was on for this whatever I was feeling, and it kept getting worse and worse, and it was started out as extreme vertigo and then a lot of vomiting, unable to keep food down. And one of the trigger episodes was I was driving out to the country in my truck and coming back, just so motion sickness. I had to get out of my truck, went in the ditch and vomited and passed out in the ditch. And I was in the ditch for about 3 hours. No one saw me. My truck was off. Then I went to my doctor and said, it's getting worse and worse. What's happening? And then there was getting more meds and more meds. And as I got sicker and sicker, I went to another doctor who was a family friend. And I said, something's wrong, Elizabeth. Something's really wrong. I have a degree in biology. I know my body. I know something's wrong. And she goes, I want you to see a neurologist. So, okay. So I got set up with a neurologist in Edmonton. He analyzed me and he wanted to do an MRI, which he did. So I got the MRI done, and it's never a good thing when they call you back. And he wanted the another MRI with dye because they'd found a lesion in my brain. At that point, I was a little bit like, okay. I was almost feeling like I was having some challenges that people weren't believing me that I was sick. So they went back and did the second MRI with a dye, and it revealed a very rare brain tumor. that was actually right in the middle of my brain. It was a benign brain tumor called a choroid brain cyst, and they always live right in the middle of your brain. And the neurologist said, I'm sorry, but no neurosurgeon will work on this. It's just too deep. You should be prepared to move on. So I was quite shocked at this, and I made all my arrangements, my will, my power of attorney, my personal directive, had all those things put in place because I was getting very sick. I couldn't. My lawyer was even concerned that I didn't have the mental ability to um, do the will and all that stuff. But we got it all done. And then one night I was so sick, again, and vomiting, even like tiny little head movements would cause me to vomit, extreme vertigo. And prior to that, I had been going in and out of psychosis, not understanding what psychosis is at the time. And it was so cold. It was 2 years ago in January, it was -30. And I would slip in and out of psychosis. And I had the sense enough to pack a bunch of boxes by my door because I was terrified I would go outside and wander and freeze to death outside. So I would come in and out of these episodes of psychosis. And one thing I did to keep going also was I put little notes around my house about keep going no matter what, keep on living. I was never suicidal ever, but I wanted to die. It was just awful. There's a hockey player named Colby Cave. He
Mm.
had the exact same brain tumor that I had, and he
Okay.
bumped his head in a hockey game, and he died 24 hours later because it
Hmm.
dislodged it, and it causes obstructive hydrocephalus. And
Hmm.
my brain was close to having a herniation. Um, and then I'll tell you what happened next. But Gail, do you have any questions at this point? Any?
Oh, thanks, Charles, for asking. I think what I would be curious about, and certainly some of our listeners, is that with the psychosis, and you and I had a quick chat about this in our pre-interview meeting. Are you aware of what you're doing,
Mm,
and how much control do you have, or do you have any control at all? It sounds like you were still of sound mind enough to make sure you didn't get
yes.
out that door.
Yeah.
But
It would.
what is the psychosis like, Charles?
It would come and go, and like, what was I in control? I Yes and no. Um, I would do things and not know why I was doing them. Um, I felt with psychosis. I felt that the tumor was communicating with me and telling me to do things. Um, and the tumor said it was a living being and it was communicating with me. So it was very confusing
Mm,
because I'm, rational, scientific mind, and
right.
all this was happening to me, and I didn't understand why or what. And actually, the day before the brain surgery at the U of A hospital, I tried to escape the hospital because the tumor told me to. It said it didn't want to die, it didn't want to be removed. So
Okay.
I tried to escape the hospital. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a violent person. I
Mm-hmm.
became violent, and I made a mess of the of one of the wards at the U of A hospital. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want me back, I'm sure. Um, I threw monitors on the floor. I was
Mm-hmm.
yelling. It took 3 security guards to get me because I was quite physically strong, and
Mm-hmm.
it took 3 security guards to restrain me. And then from that time forward, I had to be restrained to the bed until surgery. So that's what the psychosis is, and people don't understand psychosis, I guess, until it really happens to you. And
Yeah.
I still don't 100% either, but
Yeah.
um, not something I want to go through again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like it, no doubt. And
Mhm.
I mean, you can appear threatening to others, but also a threat to yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's got to be
Yeah.
so terrifying because
Yeah.
you know what's happening, and yet it sounds like there's little
Hmm.
that you can do to actually stop yourself.
Right. Yeah. And they had to give me some strong antipsychosis drugs,
Hmm.
and that finally calmed me down. So then, what happened next was the neuropsychiatrist at the U of A. She was excellent. She
Hmm.
came in, she spoke with me, and talked about, okay, well, you're having a hard time now, and I said, yep. I mean, my family was with me, Linda and Blair and Bradley, my cousins, and and my friend Joycelyn and my friend Steve, they were all there, and the neuropsychiatrist said, we've mapped your brain, and we can go in and we can take it out. Do you want that to happen? And I said, yes. Let's do what you have to do. I can't live like this anymore. And apparently, the surgery was they could do it, and I was actually so amazed because it was like right in the middle of my head, like right in the middle. So
yeah, I
you
can't
can't.
imagine.
The scar is right here. They did a really good job of, because there was 30 staples in there. They had to drain excess fluid from the top of my head first because it was just squeezing, and the hydrocephalus was causing the psychosis. So then, 7 hours later, I was so out of it. The doors open, and I was frustrated that they hadn't done anything yet. Why has nothing been done? And my cousins came in, and they came in the door, and they said, they're done. They got it. You're okay.
Wow.
I said, what? What's going on? And they took a picture of my head, and I had a big Band-Aid on my head. I had this tubes coming out of my head because they were still draining the fluid.
Right.
And I was so shocked. And then I was in the hospital for about 7 more nights. I didn't want to be there anymore, so I insisted on going home. I think, I was physically strong. My body was okay. So nothing else was wrong with me except this brain tumor. And then, so that was about almost 2 years ago coming up. And I've made a amazing recovery. I'm legally disabled about 20 underneath my, like, I look okay. I look like a regular person on the street. But about 25 to 30% of my left frontal lobe is dead. My MRIs revealed a black spot underneath there. So neuroplasticity, somehow the connections, the pathways have been reorganized. I have slight balance issues and some cognitive issues, but other than that, I'm legally disabled. I can't go back to work. But other than that, I never was suicidal, and I can totally understand how someone would be in that situation, but I just never crossed my mind. But in many ways, it's, I call it my great reset, that it put everything in life in perspective. And my life was turned upside down because of it, but actually now it's much better. And I had to, struggle to and make the decision. Well, in October, 2 years, a year and a half ago, something, I decided, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not just going to lay here anymore and recover. I became really active in my recovery. Previous few years ago, I was a very health food fanatic. So I got back to that, like eating really healthy, going to the gym, which was amazing. The gym helped me cope with the anxiety. I'd never felt anxiety before to the level I did. And for me, anxiety, and people experience it differently. For me, it was this constant buzzing in my head that just wouldn't go away. So that was the main thing, was working with my doctors on various medications to get rid of the anxiety. And luckily it is going away, because anxiety is not a good thing, I can tell you. So here I am today, almost 2 years post-surgery, and life is wonderful again. Because I'm disabled, but I can enjoy life, and I can pursue the interests. It's like being retired, but not retired. I still actually work. I still actually have an employer. I'm just on long-term disability. So I've learned to navigate the healthcare system when you're sick. I've learned the importance of family connections and friendship connections, and not letting go of those. Because when you're sick, you want to isolate yourself. You don't want other people to see you that sick. And a lot of people are hesitant to talk about it and share about it. But so that's my story. Any questions, Gayle, that you might have? Or
Wow. probably more questions than we have time for,
Mhm.
Charles. But first of all, I just really want to congratulate you on your attitude,
Mm.
because we all have a choice
Yeah.
when things happen to us. And as a coach, I mean, and just talking to people in general, we sometimes hear people say, "Well, I didn't have a choice in that." Well,
Mhm.
yes, there are some things we don't have a choice in, the
Mhm.
things that happen to us, such as what happened to you, but we have a choice in how we navigate it through and
Yeah.
how we manage it. And Yeah, I'd like to just go back a little bit because I did have a
Sure.
question pop up that I think could be of value to folks, and this could be for any type of recovery. But you had this major surgery, and you were in the hospital for 7 short days, and then you
Mhm.
said, "Yep, here's your gown back. I've had enough, right?
Yeah.
Give me my pants. I'm out of here."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get home, and what was that like for you? Like, how did you and what I'm kind of focusing on here is, how did you make that emotional adjustment? Because, prior to even knowing you had the tumor, which I'm sure was growing long before you knew you had it, you were able-bodied and you would
Yeah.
cook meals and you would, clean and wash your car, and you get home after this major surgery, and what was that like, from going from being able to do whatever you needed to do for yourself to really not being able to do anything for a while yet, because it was 7 days?
Yeah. And well, actually, previous to the surgery, like I was sick for 2 years,
Mm,
and yeah, probably even 1 year before the surgery, I was on long term disability just because they couldn't figure out what was wrong. But
mm,
I wasn't able to, clean my house. I wasn't able to cook that much, and everything just got out of control. It became a mess. And friends would try to help me, not understanding what, and I felt guilty that I couldn't do certain things myself, but
mhm,
I also wouldn't tell them. But I guess I focused on, well, a lot of that I was not cognitively aware of a lot of things at that time. I couldn't
mm,
really think things through. So I didn't really care that I couldn't take care of myself or couldn't do things. I
right.
just let it happen.
Mhm,
Um, and that whole period was such a blur that I don't know how I came through it. All that I do know is the surgery was in April, I think, and by the October, I had. You talked about choice. I had made a choice. I'm not going to lay here at home anymore. I'm going to become really active in my recovery because there was about 6 month time span there. So then that's when I just really focused on eating well. I just woke up one day and I joined a gym and started going to the gym three
mhm.
days a week and exercising, and that really helped me get out of it. And you mentioned choice. Yeah, it was. I remember it was a very clear choice for me. What are you going to do? In my head, are you going to lay here and just moan and about it, or are you going to do something? And I thought, I've been a smart person my whole life. I had 3 university degrees. I'm not going to be a victim anymore of it. So I'm going to fight some more. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it does, for sure. And if I could just ask another
Oh,
question
for sure.
with
Yeah.
regards to that, when you said, I'm a smart person, I have 3 degrees, I can do this.
Yeah.
Um, what were the other motivators? Like, or
Mm,
you know what? Better yet, what inspired you, Charles, to say, I've got this. I've had enough. Like,
mm.
do you recall any of the thoughts you had that brought you to that point?
I remember working with a therapist with some of my students when I was at Grant McEwen, and she had mentioned one of the most important things about mental health is getting rid of negative self-talk
Mm,
and degrading yourself, putting yourself down.
mhm.
Um, So get rid of that negative self-talk. You don't have to replace it with positive imagery and all that, but you got to get rid of the negativity. And I think that's where I was successful. I stopped all negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think it anymore because I just had it with negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of, I think, my recovery was stop thinking negative. Like, you're alive. You made it this far, so it's
Mm-hmm.
all positive moving forward. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
get rid of negative self-talk.
Yeah, yeah. No matter how you have to do it. And when
Yeah,
you say that, I'm thinking of
hard to do.
so hard to do.
Mhm.
But it's like you had a perspective shift, which I've
Yeah.
also heard I've also heard it referred to as a reframe.
Yes. Yes.
And that's a big chunk of Tony Robbins' work from decades ago. That's the first
Yeah.
thing I learned from him. How can I reframe this? Instead of thinking, well, I can't do this because
Yeah.
I can do this and I will do this.
It was. I was just thinking. It was making a conscious choice. Like,
Uh,
going back, it was making this conscious choice to.
yeah.
Oh, because in a lot of ways, like, yeah, the suffering was horrible. It was like having the worst hangover of your life for 2 years
Mm,
nonstop.
wow.
Um, but then I look at it now and think it was really a blessing because I'm alive, but it put so much of what's important into perspective and where my life is going and what I can do with it. And I hope to live a long life and to inspire people to, and I guess I don't want people to suffer alone, because I get it. When you're
Hmm.
suffering, you push people away, you try to isolate yourself.
Yeah.
Totally the wrong thing to do. And, I did it. And I don't want other people to fall into that. And a lot of
Yeah.
people, sometimes they're ashamed to talk about personal illness.
Hmm.
But I think it's important because you can help other people
Yeah.
um, through
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah. And illness is truly a part of life.
Yep.
Death is a part of life.
Yep.
Life happens. And I'm also wondering too, like you said, you push people away
Yep.
and you wished you hadn't.
Yeah.
And so why do you wish you hadn't? Like, what do you feel you maybe um, could have done differently, or even what you might have missed out on by not reaching out for help?
Well, I pushed a lot of friends away. Actually, some family members became a lot closer to me as a result. My cousins and my nephew, we became very close. But pushing people away, I think that's a natural response because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want people to know you're sick. Um, and then what I had done on Facebook is I knew things were getting bad, so I actually wrote a piece on Facebook, saying I was hesitant to share this, but I thought now is the time. Um, but they found this brain tumor, um, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I was generally really negative about social media at first,
Mm-hmm.
but when I made that post, it was like 150 people responded with such positive words of encouragement and thumbs up and amazing, people that I hadn't talked to in a long time reached out and were concerned, right? So that's the good side of social media, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much bad there, but if you focus on the good, and also, you know people who make negative posts, no, there was none of that. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes maybe in the past I was guilty of making negative posts, but I will never do it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the small lessons learned when we
Yeah.
when we have a trauma in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with regards to social media, I was thinking about the things that sometimes we want to post and are hesitant to post are the things that help people the most.
Yeah.
It's that sharing, and there's two sides to everything. Yes, social media has its downside, but if we use it for the purpose intended, then what a great world it
Oh
could
yeah.
be. Because
Yeah.
by you sharing your story, maybe people who are hesitant to go to the doctor, or they
Yes.
have a blind spot about how they're
Yeah.
feeling, like it's not normal to throw up for over a year
Yeah. Yeah. And I
almost every day,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
interesting and then on social media, um, it was a very rare tumor, about 3 in a million, and um, probably in Canada, in any one given year, you might have three people or that have the surgery done. And I met with a woman who was in St. Albert, no, Sherwood Park, who had one done. And
Hmm.
we met and went for coffee and talked about it. So that was amazing. And then I
Yeah.
became a member of two worldwide colloid cyst support groups. And some of the stories on there are heartbreaking because there are people who become suicidal and do that. And so I try to post positive stories about how I felt and
Mm-hmm.
and the outcome I had. Not everyone has a good outcome like I've had, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely share it on Facebook on my two support groups. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the price of giving people hope, that it's priceless,
Hmm.
but the
Yeah.
cost is nothing.
No, it's free. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
totally, but and the rewards, yeah, like you say, they're
Mm.
priceless, right? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so Gail and I met when I had posted on my LinkedIn web site because people had been wondering where did he go? He just kind of disappeared. So I
Yeah,
updated my LinkedIn with
yeah,
my brain and my story about how I wanted to share the story. And I don't want to be paid. I don't want anything back.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to share the story,
Mm-hmm.
and that that'd be kind of my legacy, which is what I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's such a beautiful thing, Charles. When we give without expecting anything back,
Hmm.
amazing things can happen, and we
Yeah,
don't know who they happen to.
true. Exactly
Right.
true. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. And earlier also, Charles, you had mentioned that the tumor has been the biggest gift or the greatest gift in your life. And is there anything in particular that you um, feel the most grateful for as to how it has changed your life for the better?
I think it brought me closer to
Mm-hmm.
some of my family members,
Mm,
which was excellent. Brought me closer to my friends. Um, in weird way, it's had very positive effects on my body because I go to the gym regularly.
mm-hmm.
I do a ketogenic diet. I eat
Mm-hmm.
very healthy than
Mm-hmm.
I did before. Um, in my before life, I wasn't, the happiest person. I was working this job that, I just went to kind of thing. And because I was ill, I was probably not inspired to as much. But
Sure.
and now that I'm disabled or I have free time to pursue what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my life might be shortened because of all this.
Mm-hmm.
I have encephalomalacia. My next MRI is in March.
Mm-hmm.
My 2-year checkup to see how everything's going. So I don't know. I have good genetics, so everyone in my family lives to be 90. So I don't know if I'll make it that, or maybe I will. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I know I'm probably more prone to dementia and ongoing psychosis because of what's happened. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to truck on and keep on going and it's work through it as I go. Right?
Yeah, yeah, one day at a time is all
Yeah.
we have,
Yeah.
if not 1 minute at a time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm,
Like I say, I there were so many blood vessels wrapped around it, and to get it out was tricky. So
mhm.
I'm here and I'm happy.
Yeah, and I'm happy for you that you're
Thank you.
here, Charles, and I'm happy you're here as well. And again, I'd like to say it again, is that I was just so, I don't even know the word for it, but when I saw that you were so willing to talk about this, I'm like, wow, that's a big deal.
Mhm.
Because as you said earlier, a lot of people don't.
And some people are ashamed when they have a health issue,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why, especially a brain issue, like
Mhm.
But it's no different, broken bone, broken brain. It's no different,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is that we have going on inside of us that could change things for us,
Yeah.
it's still something that's going on inside, and we just, do our best to,
And I guess,
yeah.
I walk by people every day
Hmm.
and they look like regular people going about their lives, but
Yeah.
you just don't know what they've been through. You don't know
Oh,
what's
yeah.
going on inside
Hmm.
and what they're
Hmm.
going through. I used to always, when I was going to work sick, I would walk by people and think, how are you not sick? How are you well?
Yeah.
I was just so confused how other people would be walking by me and seem
Yeah.
well when I wasn't. It was so unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. But I agree with your comment too. Like, you never know what's going on with
Yeah,
people.
with other people, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes, and I think, in some ways it's human nature and we may not mean anything by it, but, if we see someone acting in a certain way or behaving in a
Yeah.
certain way, we don't know their story and we're very quick to judge,
Yes, exactly.
as to
Like
what might be going on.
you would look at me and think probably nothing happened. You can't see.
Mm-hmm.
They did such a great job
Mm-hmm.
on the because there was about 25 staples there. They did
Mm.
such a great job on the because I have a bone that big taken out and um, 4 plates and 8 screws in there. They don't set off the airport alarms, which is good. But
Well, that's good. Yeah.
people look at me and I look like I've had nothing happen to me, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot that has happened. So
Yeah. So you have 4 plates and 8 screws,
four little
4 little
plates,
plates.
about
Yeah.
like that, and then
Yeah.
each 2 screws in each one. And sometimes, like I still get a lot of bad headaches, like ice pick headaches.
Oh.
But
Mm-hmm.
that could probably be some expansion, the skull moving around because it was that big a piece was taken out.
Uh-huh.
My skull X-ray shows. I don't know. My friend said it was like a jack o' lantern. They take the piece out and they put it back in.
Well,
So
that's a sense of humor.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
exactly.
yeah, and then
Wow.
I've never. I told all my friends I'll never use the excuse that I had brain surgery, but I am starting to do it now when I get frustrated. But
Yeah,
I try not
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Wow. So I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself this last week
Oh,
because I had with regards to your plate and your screws, I had a mishap 2 years ago at the dog park and I broke my ankle. I did a
oh,
really, really good job, right? Really good. Like the doctor phoned and said, wow, we got to get you in for surgery because this
oh
is bad.
no.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all good now, but walking on ice, when I
Oh,
walk my dog, it sometimes puts a little bit of extra pressure, and there's no pain, Charles. Don't get me wrong. It
yeah.
swells a little bit, and I mean, ooh, oh, that feels so weird. And now you're telling me you've got plates and screws in your head, and now my problem, and you and I talked about perspective earlier,
Yeah.
with the plate in my ankle, it's like that is no big deal anymore. Wow, Charles has got this in his head. Like that
Well,
is,
sometimes
yeah.
I think when you've got screws, maybe the weather sometimes when it's cold or
Hmm.
whatever can make them
Yeah.
contract. I don't know, expand or contract, and then you
Yeah.
feel pain as a result of that. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, they don't know. Like when I have my headaches, they don't know. I do have encephalomalacia, and one of my
Mhm.
rear brain ventricles is slightly enlarged. And it hasn't gone back to original size. It may never. They don't know.
Mhm.
I'll know more in my next MRI. Maybe we can do an update then as well. But I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to just continue going on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. What keeps you going, Charles?
Um, I think the very simple things like sunshine, going out with friends,
Mm.
um, having fun, seeing a friend smile, seeing someone smile,
Mm.
just the really little things in life. Those are
Mhm.
the golden moments, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I remember there's a song, "The Secret of Life is a Good Cup of Coffee," and
Oh,
that's kind of yeah, that's
yeah.
totally it. There's not, you can be a billionaire and still be unhappy, and you can still hurt people, and I don't want to hurt people, and
Mhm.
I want to be a giving person, right, and give back,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I
So,
guess that keeps me going. Yeah,
yeah, sorry, Charles. I
yeah,
thought you were done there for a moment. So, if you were to think about the biggest changes you've seen within yourself that are very different from um, you know, pre-operative Charles.
yeah.
Is there anything that you can pinpoint that you go, "Oh, wow, that's interesting." Like, I would not have thought of that. I would not have done that before, and I'm doing it now, and it feels right. Like any kind of
Oh yeah.
significant personality changes.
Um, all my friends say I'm a nicer person now, so maybe that. But I do know I'm before I think I was a bit judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
and picky
Mm,
at people, and I'm not anymore.
mm-hmm.
Um, I'm much more forgiving,
Mm,
kinder.
mm-hmm.
Um, I guess that's natural for going through such a thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's the best gift of all is being kinder, nicer,
Mm-hmm.
to people, understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Trauma again, it really does.
Yeah.
Trauma and tragedy puts things in
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. I have a trauma therapist. I have a
Mm-hmm.
lead therapist that coordinates my meetings and follow ups with
Mm-hmm.
the trauma specialist.
Mm-hmm.
It's all out of Sherwood Park Primary Care. And I have the neurosurgeon, the neuropsychiatrist, and the neurologist. So I have all those that I follow up with. And thank goodness everything's pretty central here at the U of A. U of A
Mm-hmm.
was excellent. Who knew they could do that surgery at the U of A? That the surgeon was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a bonus because it
Yeah.
would be unpleasant to have to travel
And
in that
then
kind of situation.
I guess also I'm very thankful for being a Canadian.
Mhm.
This would have cost 250,000, 300,000 if we didn't have healthcare and then didn't
Yeah,
have insurance in the states. And
yeah.
there, I read people in the states who they have to pay out of pocket to have MRIs.
Mhm,
My MRIs are scheduled for the next 10 years. That I yearly MRIs. They were every 6 months, and
mhm,
now they're reduced to every year. So,
mhm.
and we don't have to pay out of pocket for that, right? So,
Yeah,
I don't begrudge paying taxes that level because it'll be there.
yeah.
And I never underestimate the value of your benefit
Mhm.
at work. And if you're looking for jobs, ask about the benefit package.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, so true, and,
Yeah,
yeah, our neighbors to the south, have a very different
yeah,
medical plan, and I couldn't agree with you more, and I still was in awe even though, I mean, my surgery was nothing compared to yours, but,
but still,
ankle surgery is
yeah,
still at a cost to the government,
yeah,
and I must say, like, I had the best care and the best nurses, and I was grateful for every moment I was there,
yeah, yeah. And it
and
was
yeah.
interesting. Just about a month and a half after my brain surgery, my brother had a heart attack, and he had to have a stent put in at the U of A hospital.
Oh my gosh.
So, and he's
Yeah.
fine. Everything went well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of laughing with each other, which is worse, brain surgery or heart surgery?
Yeah. Well, I
It's
guess it
not
depends,
worse.
right?
Yeah,
They're
it's
pretty much neck and neck, no pun
yeah, and
intended.
it really
Yeah.
depends on where your mindset is, right? Like
Yeah.
a small scratch can be traumatic for some people, right? Right?
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
judge that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is really, and I think we've said this, we talked about it before we started the podcast. It's truly about perspective.
Yeah,
That's really all it is. I mean, and
yeah,
you get to pick what your perspective is. And some people might be familiar, and maybe you are too, Charles. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer's material, and
okay,
he has some amazing quotes. And his favorite quote is, to me, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
yeah, oh yeah,
And it's just, it's just, it's difficult to do, though. It's
yeah,
difficult to do. And yet I hear you speak of how you did it. And I'm sure it wasn't easy. But how would you describe how you sustained that belief? Like, was it up and down for you? Were there some days
yeah,
where I'm done. I'm not going to the gym and I'm not going to be positive and I'm just done.
yeah, yeah. There are
Yeah.
lots of days like that.
Hmm.
There, 4 months after the surgery, every day was a struggle to get up and function. Right, every day was
Yeah.
hard. I
Yeah.
remember there's a movie years ago called Dangerous Minds about a school teacher, and she taught these really rough inner city kids,
Oh, yes. I
and
recall it. Hmm.
and they all and the teacher said, because a lot of them took on the victim mentality, which
Yeah.
is controversial, and I don't want to belittle
Yeah.
people who do, right?
Yeah.
But I remember the
Yeah.
teacher waving at them, "You are not a victim. That is a choice," and
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess a lot of in the last October,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, going, this is a choice. You have a choice. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, what a gift to have a choice. Like I
Yeah.
get to choose now to be better. I get to choose and empower myself to be better, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. And that can be powerful when
Yeah.
you get to choose that. You
Yeah.
get to choose because that also creates your future.
Yeah.
With,
And
mhm.
I realize a lot of it too is very controversial, and a lot of people who are suffering, they may totally disagree with me, or they may not see my perspective, and I totally get that, and I totally respect it. But
Mhm.
yeah, suffering can be controversial, and I definitely, um,
Mhm.
I was mad at God or the universe that this
Mhm.
was happening to me. Uh, so I had anger, but I had to get over that, and
Mhm.
somehow I did. And I don't know how exactly. It was almost like a supernatural event took over and guided me through it, right? So that's part of it
Mhm.
too. It's not all me. It wasn't all my work. It was something else. I don't know what that was.
Wow,
But if we could
that's
bottle it and put it in bottles, it'd be
oh,
great.
wouldn't that be great? Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, Charles, that is something that most people, if they've chosen to listen, hear semi-regularly from people. It's like, I know it wasn't all me. There was some kind
Yeah.
of like divine intervention or
Something.
something that gets us through it. And maybe is it because that and I've read quotes about this too. One of them was from, I think it was Betty Ford, and I can't remember the exact names, the exact person. But it's about we don't even know what we're capable of until
No,
we
we don't.
to be strong.
Yeah.
We don't know because we don't rarely have to exercise those kinds of muscles as to what we can get through in life.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember, you know, just before surgery, they sterilized me. I had to say goodbye to family before because no one else can go in with you into that room
of
because it's
course.
sterile.
Yeah.
And actually, the person who pushed my bed into the um, operating room she was the anesthesiologist, who was a medical doctor, and she was
Yeah.
great. And when they're wheeling me in, I felt this is it. I could die. I'm like, who knows what's. So I remember looking at her and going, "You have beautiful eyes. Your eyes might be the last ones that I see." And she goes,
Oh,
"Oh, don't think of that, dear. You're going
yeah.
to come out fine. You're going to come out great." So, and then she,
Yeah.
patted my hand, and then this thing came over my head, and I was out.
And there you go. They say count back from 100. I
Yeah,
normally don't get to 98 and
yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, yeah.
But wow, the U of A neurology ward was just amazing. I knew I was in the right place because they wheeled me in, and I could see, Charles Young frontal craniotomy to remove the, and then all the instruments were there. It was just like,
Yeah. This is all
wow.
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Um, Charles, I'm not sure why this is coming back to me, but earlier on in the interview, you had said you were in your truck and you
yeah,
went over to the side of the road
yeah,
and 3 hours later you woke up and you were in the ditch.
yeah.
Um, I'm really curious to know how you got out. Like,
Oh,
did you
I had so I was driving, and I had to throw up, and I was really sick, and I was throwing up in the truck,
yeah,
and so I parked I parked, I got out, collapsed onto the ditch. Thankfully, there
yeah,
wasn't much water in it, only a little bit,
yeah,
and then I just kind of regained awareness. I wasn't
okay.
unconscious the whole time,
Wow.
but I regained awareness. I got
Mhm,
back in the truck. It was now dark out. I
mhm,
was able to get back to Edmonton, and then when I got back, I was throwing up some more again.
mhm.
But yeah, I was lucky to get back, and I probably shouldn't have been driving at that point, but I had
Yeah,
there was no choice. I didn't know what to do.
yeah,
Well, I guess I could have called 911. I just wasn't even thinking of that.
of
I've been
course.
in
Yeah.
so many ambulance rides before, probably five ambulance picking me
Mhm,
up at my house, thinking had a heart issue or something,
mhm, mhm,
but they couldn't find anything, right? And that was
mhm.
frustrating in itself. That they did CAT scans. These tumors, they don't show up in CAT scans; they only show up on MRIs.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
So I had these CAT scans done, and they kept saying nothing's wrong, and then they went back and looked at the CAT scans, and yeah, there's a slight smudge. was the tumor.
Okay. Um, wow. So what might you say to folks um, who are listening to this that, hopefully everyone that's listening is fine. We never know. But what were some of the things that perhaps you, looking back, you feel you might have done differently for self advocacy, or you had mentioned earlier about managing the medical system. Was there
Right.
anything that could be supportive to anyone, no matter what they're going in for? Like what do you feel is?
One thing I was really hesitant to do was
Mhm.
to reach out to a family friend who was a doctor.
Okay.
Um, and she saved my life basically by insisting I
Yeah.
had an MRI. I wish I had done that sooner.
Uh-huh.
So I guess, I always would follow the rule book and would go see your doctor and do this. And I
Mhm.
didn't call on personal relationships as
Mhm.
much as I should have for help.
Mhm.
So I think
Okay.
I should have done that sooner.
Mhm.
Had I done that sooner, maybe because it had gone on so long, they had to do a frontal craniotomy rather than a less intrusive operation. They could just
Okay.
pull out the top when it was
Mhm.
smaller, but it had started growing too much, so
Yeah.
they had to do it. So I guess I would call more on my personal connections.
Mhm.
What should I do? What's your advice?
Mhm.
How should I handle this? I wish I'd done that sooner.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I'm hearing ask for help,
Yeah,
and as well, if you feel it in your gut, get a second opinion.
of course. Yeah, that's what and wish I'd done that sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And again, Charles, I can't recall if we did this like before the episode started, or you mentioned it after, like getting affairs in order. Like
Sorry.
how getting one's
Oh,
affairs in order.
right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how important do you feel that is now
Oh,
compared to before? Because
that
some
was
people don't.
critical. Yeah, that was critical. I spoke to my lawyer and said, I'm really sick. They found a brain tumor. I need to get, three things in order: your
Hmm.
will,
Hmm.
personal directive, and power of attorney. So,
Hmm.
and I wanted it done quickly, so she had to fast track it, so it cost a little bit more. I would have
Hmm.
done that sooner,
Yeah.
getting all that in place sooner,
Hmm.
because she was concerned that I didn't have the mental state to do it. But
Uh,
I had my family come in and work with us together on that. So that's critical. Even like I'm single, I don't have any kids, so there wasn't much to worry about. But I had some assets and stuff that I wanted to
sure.
assure they go to the right place, to the
Yeah.
right people, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, another piece of advice is don't wait
Yeah,
until it's too late.
yeah. Because I was
Yeah.
57 and didn't have a will or power of attorney or all
Mhm.
that stuff, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
critical.
Mhm.
And always
Absolutely.
make sure, you, if your benefits, you're like, make sure you have the top tier benefits. It might cost
Yeah.
$10 a month more or something, but it's
Yeah.
worth it, right?
Oh, it's so worth it. I
Yeah,
mean, as you sit in Starbucks, I'm wondering, well, I wonder how much your latte was. Like, for the price of a coffee, or
yeah,
how much coffee we pay for in a
yeah,
month,
yeah,
you need to make sure you've got that coverage. It is
exactly.
absolutely
Yeah,
so valuable, and it doesn't cost a lot. And
no,
particularly if you if you're lucky enough to have group benefits,
yeah. And
right?
then also um, I had to investigate with some help,
Mhm.
the federal government programs like the
Okay.
Canada Disability Benefit, the
Mm-hmm.
Canada Disability Tax Credit. I didn't know any of these things
Okay.
existed, and they help a lot.
Wow.
My
Wow.
meds at one point were, and they still are, about $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, my benefit plan covers those.
Yeah.
Because I still have to take antipsychotic and anti nausea meds
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
still have the nausea. Not as bad nearly,
Right.
but I
Right.
still have nausea. So having again, being Canadian, we're lucky we have access to these programs.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Charles, this did not happen to you a very long time ago.
No.
And I'm so happy for you. I'm actually in
Thanks.
awe of us sitting here having this conversation so shortly after.
Yeah. It's been 2 years. It was funny,
Yeah.
a month after
Hmm.
that. well, do I go back to work? What's happening? And people had to tell me, no,
Yeah.
you're not ever going back to work.
Yeah.
You have, and I'm not hiding it. They can see my MRIs. They can see the black spot
Yeah.
where it is, right? And I'm just lucky that the curve or something just went right, that I'm not more disabled. Like I have balance issues and some cognitive issues, but
Yeah.
I'm just lucky I'm not more
Yeah.
worse off.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. You have a great way of reframing things, Charles. And I do have one last question for
Sure.
you, if that's okay.
Oh yeah.
When you had that thought about, like, after a month, oh, well, I guess I should think about going back to work, and
Yeah.
someone said, no, you're done. Like, you're done, like,
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
Um, it was a loss. It was a loss of career. I had a
Mhm.
bright career,
Mhm.
and I talked to my therapist about it. And yeah, it was a loss. Like I never got a goodbye party. I never got a retirement party. None of that, right? So I would probably be in a director position by now.
Mhm.
So it was a loss of that, right?
Yeah.
So that mourning my career loss was because my career was important to me, right?
Right.
Even though sometimes you don't enjoy your job, but your overall career is the bigger picture, and
Yeah.
that was important to me, right? And
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
I lost that, but now my new career is on my LinkedIn page of talking about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And thank
and
you
I
so
guess
much.
I work for myself now. I work
Yeah.
for me, right? I use my disability
Mhm.
income so I can talk about this and
Mhm.
move forward, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I'm just so happy for you that you've navigated through this, because it's not enough to have had the surgery and the situation and all the symptoms, the horrible, horrible symptoms you went through. It continues after
A little bit, yeah.
after
It's
the
not
tumor was
over.
operated on. Yeah, it's and that's a different road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're doing what needs to be done in order
Yes.
for you to have a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
enjoy life. I love life. I love every aspect of breathing. So
yeah,
that's what I want to do more of.
yeah, definitely. Any last words, Charles, before we say goodbye today?
I guess I just want to tell people who are suffering to don't do it alone. And I want to motivate people to share their stories and to talk about illness,
Mhm.
mental health or physical, regardless, broken bone, broken brain,
Yeah.
um, and to reach out and share with people and don't be isolated. And try to find strategies in yourself. Try
Mhm.
to find the strength inside of you to move on, even though you might not feel it. It might be tiny,
Mm.
but just try little things and get rid of. Try to get rid of internal negative self talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So very inspiring, Charles. Thank you so much. And I'm thinking this isn't the last time we've seen you.
No. No, for
And
sure.
so, yeah, absolutely. And just wishing you all the best. And I'm sure that the audience is wishing you well as well. And I know that there'll be a lot more people you can share this with and inspire them as you
Yeah.
have me today.
And
So,
I'm eager to come to organizations or groups and
mhm.
do talks. Maybe Gail can come along with me. Um, and the story is not over, right? It's
Oh,
continuing, which
no.
is exciting.
Yeah, this story is far from
Yeah,
over, Charles. I think there's
yeah,
lots more waiting for you out there,
yeah.
most definitely. Yeah, awesome. So thank you, everyone, for being with us today and listening to Charles' very inspiring story. Charles Young, we can find Charles on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
And are you still on Facebook as well? Or
yeah.
are you
I'm on
just
Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah,
okay? And just Charles Young, nothing, no fancy handles
that's
or
it. Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for coming. Charles, especially to you, very special guest. And we'll see you once again very soon on Blind Spots. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.